Well, it's a significant accomplishment. So congratulations to the guys. Congratulations to our fans. Our fans had a big part in it. But it's not a destination. It's simply a tool. And so, as we get closer to everything, we'll talk to the team more about the mindset. You got to take a bit different mindset into the playoffs when you're the home team. But that's a challenge we're looking forward to.
What did you think of Tyrese, his big shots late, and how he propelled you guys down the stretch?
He was great. He's great. Made plays. He's got a feel and a sense for the moment. Once again, Reggie's sitting over there. Which is cool. And so, look, it's an important game. It was not pretty in many respects, but it was a fight. The guys they put out there played their butts off and played great basketball, and we had to find a way. And I'm proud of our guys for the overall accomplishment. Of to this point 49 wins in home court. So the turnaround's quick. Orlando's going to come in here. They're as competitive a team as there is in the league, and so we'll have to turn this around very quickly.
You guys can still get to 3, but having home court secured with that in mind, is there any change to consideration, especially with the back-to-back of minutes strategy in these last 2 games?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that.
You mentioned some parts of it weren't particularly pretty. I guess, what parts are you concerned about? Obviously, you guys lost in points in the paint early, second chance points, that kind of stuff. I mean, what stood out to you as things that sort of concern you going forward as you are getting close to playoff time? Well,
I really haven't even had a chance to study the stat sheet, but we've got to concentrate on the basics. Our defense has improved. But defense and simple defense and rebounding and spacing are huge things for us. And, we've got to concentrate on those things. I'll look at it tonight and, we'll make whatever adjustments we need to make. Give Cleveland a lot of credit. I mean, the guys that played for them played a first-class game and it was hard.
What did you like about how you guys closed out defensively, especially that last possession to hold them to kind of a tough long 2 at the end there? Just what did you like about how you guys just kind of approached that play and getting them kind of a little bit scrambled as they were offensively and to take maybe a shot they didn't want to take?
I like the result. I mean, I haven't looked at it again yet, so I can't give you a detailed breakdown of it. But look, Porter was a big problem. Merrill was a big problem. Jerome and Hunter those guys were big problems, and their support guys were hitting open shots. I mean, that's a championship level team. They've proven it and shown it all year long, and their second unit guys stepped up into starting positions and they showed out the way that you would want them to if you're them. And so we took some pretty tough runs in the face during the game and somehow we're able to stay together and find a way to fight it out. And look at this is not a style points thing. 49 wins is significant, and however you get them, you get them.
This last one from me, Jarris, obviously 4 of 4 from 3, 6 of 7 from the field. A couple of big ones, obviously, to get you started in the fourth. Again, it seems like he's had a string of really, kind of tough performances for you guys. Obviously, the shooting seems to be coming along, particularly. Just how, again, are you continue to see growth from him?
Yeah, I see growth professionally. He was a major factor in the Denver game. He actually finished the game in Denver. That's as tough a road environment as you're going to get. He did the basic things very well, and he stuck open shots. Did the same thing tonight. So he's going to be an important guy as you go into a playoff series. You don't know for sure, how much each guy is going to play, but you do know that the 11 guys that have played the majority of minutes for us, are all going to be needed. And they're all going to have to be ready. So the doses of minutes, are going to be uncertain. And they've got to be ready when their name is called to go out and compete and hold their ground and fight for their team and their fans.
A few weeks ago, I was talking with Myles Turner, and he made the comment that he had not opened a playoff series at home. I know this means a lot to a lot of different people, but could you speak to specifically his loyalty and 10th season and getting this opportunity, what your feelings are about Myles?
Yeah, I'm very happy for him. He's had a tremendous year. His work down the stretch of this season with some of these games where we've really needed both his rim protection and his offense, makes it evident how important he's been to us. And yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, but again, this is going to be a different experience and a different kind of challenge. And so we're going to have to make sure that our guys are prepared for it. And but we're looking forward to it, and I look forward to him, walking out there for game one and feeling that energy in game one. It's special, but it's not a guarantee that it's all going to go well. We've got to be prepared to fight at a very, very high level, no matter who the opponent is, and it's uncertain still.
Rick, back here, you mentioned that obviously another come-from-behind game, and you said just now how this team keeps fighting if there's a rough stretch. What do you credit for that? What's the reason how this team is able to stay together? What's the biggest reason?
Well, they're a connected group, and this for really 3 straight years now. The superpower of this team has been its connectivity, and so when a group is connected, the tendency is that they're going to fight together. And this group has also gone through, some of the lows. We had some real low points to start the season. But their togetherness and commitment to each other, and the fans never wavered. And so, it strengthens the resiliency muscles.
It's comfortable. So, it's a privilege, and still got to get the job done, though.
Tonight specifically, what do you feel like you guys summoned late to get over the hump?
Played a full 48-minute game once again. Could have played better in the first half, giving ourselves a little bit of cushion. But, ugly win, but a win's still a win.
Just to keep going on that, what did you like and not like on the defensive end? I think early they got you guys some points in the paint, second chance. How do you feel like you guys got better at that? And what do you like, not like?
Give up a lot of. I thought we gave up a little bit too many offensive rebounds in the beginning. We kind of slowed them down on that, but a lot of back cuts, a lot of layups, getting into the paint a little too easy. So we'll clean that up.
Just would you see work out just on the last possession, forcing them to take a shot they didn't want to take?
Exactly. I mean, we talked about in the huddle what we wanted to do defensively. Guys communicated, locked down. I think it was Walk at the end who was guarding him. He stayed down, didn't fall for the pump fake, made him take a tough turnaround 2, mid-range 2. That's what we want. And so, yeah.
Just what kind of growth have you seen in Walk this stretch? You obviously hit some big shots, and this is another several nights of that.
Yeah, he was 6 for 7 today in 15 minutes, and he's been hooping over these last couple of games. And, I've said it before, he works hard. He comes in early. He's always ready whenever his name is called, and it's continuing to show game after game here. So he's going to be huge for us moving forward. We need his size, need his length, need his shooting ability and his playmaking ability. So he's been great.
In the offseason, you said after the playoff run that you wanted to keep this group together. Now that you guys have had a full year and another last year's playoff run plus the full year this year, what do you think you guys have got chemistry-wise this year that maybe you didn't have last playoff?
It's just experience. We've been here before. We know what it's like to play in the playoffs. We know what the atmosphere is like playing this late into the season. Our legs underneath us, just knowing the wear and tear and how to take care of our bodies properly this time in the year. So it's just, I'm excited to be back, man. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, it's special for us knowing what we've been through to get here and how this started. And, I think, we're a game away from having a 50-win season, and that's not, I think that could be something because time is moving so fast that you just let happen and you move forward. But I think it's a special year, especially the way we started, 10 and 15, 10 and 16, whatever the case may be. Just really proud of our group and, how we've been able to change the direction of our season. And, it's a big deal for us. So we don't take that lightly, understanding we've never been in the situation to have home court going into the playoffs, and that's a whole different type of responsibility that we have to be prepared for. But definitely special for us no matter how you get it. You'll take it.
You guys didn't lose at home till the conference finals of the playoffs last year. What made it easier to win here?
I wouldn't say easier. It's just, I think when you're an NBA player, everybody enjoys sleeping in their own bed. Your home routine is probably easier to keep than when you travel, as far as what you're eating, when you're eting, travel to the game, traffic patterns, all those things. I feel like as human beings, we're creatures of habit, and you want it to be consistent. So I feel like everybody just feels more comfortable when you're playing at home. Our moms and dads and sisters and brothers and families are at the game, so I think that plays into it as well. But everybody just enjoys playing at home, and I don't think that's necessarily an anomaly in the league. But our fan base here is special. People in Indiana really care about basketball, and when I got here, we weren't very good, and the fans were still coming, showing love. So, now that we are a good team, you can see how special it is. So we definitely enjoy playing here, and look forward to, having a first round starting here.
Given what was at stake, what were you feeling during those consecutive threes late in the fourth quarter?
Just win the game, man. I've kind of created a reputation of down the stretch making big shots, and I knew I would see some good looks there late in the game, and I feel like I saw a ton of good ones really all night. So I felt confident, stepped in, and made a couple, missed a couple down the stretch that really felt good. So, it's all part of it. But the coach and the guys trust me to take those shots, and I'm just trying to step in and, step up.
You talked about just thinking about this in the context of what you've been through. I mean, what are the moments you're thinking back to tonight? I mean, how much of it for this year? How much of it from a couple of years ago? I mean, what memories does this kind of milestone bring back for you in this moment?
I don't want to get too far and too sappy, but I think early in the year, it was just really a struggle. I'd be lying to you if I told you that it was easy for me personally and all the things I was dealing with. So, for us to get here, and honestly, I love the guys in our locker room and the coaching staff, and how much that those guys mean to me, and all my loved ones, because it was a tough time early in the year for me, and just going through a lot, and those guys are really there for me. So that's what I think about mainly. But on the funny side of things, looking back, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I got traded here, and we were out there. I really didn't even know what any of our plays were. It was just me and Buddy passing the ball back and forth to each other and just figuring out, just taking advantage of, having freedom on the court. So it's definitely special to be, where we are today, and I'm very thankful for that.
You talked about it not necessarily being pretty the last couple. I mean, what do you look at and say, okay, this needs to be cleaned up at this point? When you see some of these games and the fact that you guys have been in a position to have to win it close, what concerns you, and what do you look at and say, okay, well, that's still a sign of getting through it, and that's good?
I think mainly just starting and finishing quarters the right way. I think that's the most important thing in the playoffs that I learned last year, is how important it is to start off quarters the right way, first, second, third, and fourth, and end quarters the right way. I think we had a better start today, than we have the last couple games, but still, I still think there's room to be better. That third quarter, when we kind of got a little bit of a run going, we turned it over, late, for them to take the lead there. That's just unacceptable for us as a group. So that's the most important thing for us, is controlling what we can, and we can be a lot better in how we start and finish quarters. And that's really the most important thing. We haven't shot it well, the last couple games. I mean, 34% is, whatever, but from an expectancy side, I feel like we got a lot of really open, clean looks. They just didn't fall for whatever reason. But I'm not concerned about that. The most important thing when you get to April is just to win. It doesn't matter how you get it. It doesn't matter who you play against, because when you get to the playoffs, y'all aren't talking about who was on the court. We're just talking about, did we win? Did we secure enough wins? And that's what's most important to us. So obviously they're missing a lot of guys. and obviously that's a big deal for them. But they're a really, really deep team, really good team. That's why they're the best team in our conference. So they're still NBA players, got a lot of different guys. They're really deep. So it's just about figuring out ways to win. I thought we did a great job of doing that. And literally doesn't matter how we've gotten them. We just want to win, and that's the most important thing come playoffs, because y'all don't care, and we don't care about what stats look like, who made what. Just win games.
This is your third game this season with 3 blocks in a game. Defensively,
Yeah. I appreciate that, Alex. Thank you
yeah.
for recognizing that, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, honestly.
yeah. I mean, Coach brought it up Tuesday before the game, how you have been talking about that.
Yeah, so it goes
Yeah.
Myles Turner, Rick Smits, Jermaine O'Neal, Roy Hibbert, Tyrese Haliburton. That's how it's going to end when I'm done here. I'm sorry that if there's anybody from before that time that I'm not, maybe George McGinnis or something like that. But in my mindset, I'm the 5th best shot blocker in franchise history. You can't tell me different.
Yeah. Well, and then on top of that, smothered chicken, we finally got one on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
What did you think of Quinn's smothered chicken, Colin? Are you hoping we get a playoff one?
Yeah. I know people don't. I had no idea what that was until somebody brought it up last year, and I've learned that it's kind of like the Indiana Pacers version of Mike Breen's bang. Like it's a special occasion that you want to take advantage of. So Myles has been, excuse my language, beat it at the rim. So I feel like we could very much so see that happen in the playoffs. QB is and Chris are amazing over there. So hopefully we see it over there. Hopefully I get one. That's the goal. I want one of those. Yeah.
Ty back here. Speaking of Myles, just how cool is this for him to experience a home court advantage in the first round, something he hasn't experienced here yet?
He's never experienced that. Wow. I didn't know that. But, I think, for a guy like Myles who's so, impactful to this organization, it means so much to this organization. I feel like by the end of, his time here, he'll have accomplished everything in a Pacers uniform, So I'm really thankful that to be playing alongside him and to be accomplishing these things alongside him, because, I hope that, when we're both done, both our names are synonymous with this organization. So it's really cool to see for him. And, he's been a part of a lot of special things in this organization, and I hope he continues to be a part of, a lot more special things moving forward.
I think it'll be good for us, just, be in that position, be home in front of our fans, get to, those first 2 games away are really tough. Not to say that there's like easy games out there in the playoffs. So, but just having the opportunity to be home for that first round and for the first 2 games, and hopefully get a good momentum, get a couple of wins or something, and have our crowd behind us. I'm sure probably feel a lot better than starting on the road. But at the end of the day, you still got to win 4 no matter what.
What would it take for you guys to turn things around from 10-15 to now be hosting?
Wait, say one more time. Sorry.
You guys are 10-15, turn it around to now be hosting. What did that take to you?
Yeah, no, I think it was a lot of just sticking to the plan. I think sometimes early on you can just miss some shots or whatever, and you find yourself losing some games that you're not supposed to lose, or you feel like you're supposed to win, and it's easy to just kind of like quit. I think the guys just kept just the fire, and again there was a lot of inconsistency in the way we played, and I thought we fixed a lot of that as the season was going, and everyone just getting a little bit more comfortable in their roles, and I think we're still figuring that part out, but it's just like a lot more continuity and like just fluidity and like how the way we play and on both ends of the floor. So that always, not always, but mostly equals kind of wins. So I think it was a good run for us, especially after All-Star break, and just getting some wins there.
You've obviously been preaching since you got here April, May, June, and do you feel like you got that message across, that guys didn't let what was going wrong in November and December affect them too much because they had that in their minds?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think so. I thought our mind was in the right place. Just continue to grind the games out and find ways to win. You can argue that there's some games that we're supposed to win or we didn't win, or but I thought we got it done. And got some big wins, and now just hope to continue to do that into the playoffs, because now it doesn't matter, right? Like the regular season is over, and you just have these playoff games that you have to win every single night, and no matter what happens, no matter how many points you score, the winner usually the one that feels better at the end of it. So that's all we got to focus on, and just trying to get as many wins as we can.
You took Jarris under your wing a lot, and I spent a lot of time with him in the offseason. What has it meant to you to see him step up in some of these situations the last couple of weeks?
He's been tough. Like he's been, I think it's hard coming in as a young player, and again, so much pressure, and you're supposed to be this or that, and I thought he handled it well, and I'm sure it was hard for him just to be out there, not playing some games, and in this last stretch, he's out there, he's hustling, he's playing the way with joy, he's shooting the hell out of the ball, and I just think that like he's focused. Like I can see it in the way he carried himself, and so those are some of the things I always try to tell him. Just wait for your time, man. Your time is coming, and you just got to be ready to run with it once you get that opportunity. And I think he's been doing that lately.
Special, man. I mean, it's always been a long time coming. I think this is one of the best places to play. In the playoff, the atmosphere, the environment, just the city, it's just different like buzz that comes with it. So, I'm excited just to open things up here. I think the way we started the season where we are now, it's a huge thing. But, more than anything, we have a lot more work to do. We got to keep our eyes forward.
Beyond the obvious and tangible crowd things, what to you makes playing at home so valuable?
Well, sleeping in your own bed, that's huge. I think staying stick to your normal routine, is big. Not having to rely on, stuff on the road and whatnot. For me personally, routine is everything. It's something that just keeps me grounded, keeps me balanced. So that's big for me. Home court is huge just for the fans, the energy, the atmosphere. You hit a big shot, you start to feel everything that's going on around you, and propel you to different places.
Tyler was just talking about the importance of making sure you do it, enjoy this milestone basically, and think. He was talking about thinking back to this year and everything you guys went through. And what are the kind of memories that go through your mind, whether it's this year or just in your career or this last couple of years with this group, that you think about, when you guys, just reached this milestone?
Yeah, just how much we've grown, how much we matured, as a group, from 3 years ago, or honestly even 4 years ago to, when Ty first got here, we were rebuilding, you know what I mean? And we were building for this specific moment. So to stick it all out, see it all come to fruition, for me personally, it's special. Obviously just, with the highs and lows I've been through here. But again, we're just building for the future, laying the foundation, and that foundation is set pretty well. It's all depends on what we do from here. And yeah, man, I'm just kind of proud of our growth. Defensively, it's been a huge thing for us as well. Going from last year, what we were, to where we are now, and our communication, just honestly, even just our growth and chemistry as a group. Even off the floor, just guys just kicking it. I mean, that's all that stuff goes a long way.
Do you take some pride in that defensive rating being, top half? It was 13th or 14th at one point this week. I mean, that's for the season. That's not since January or not since the All-Star break. That's for the whole season.
Of course, when you're in the center, you're the one anchoring the defense. So a lot of stuff's going to fall on you. Whether you're doing good, whether you're doing bad, people are going to look towards you. Being the biggest guy out there. So obviously take pride in being out there and just I just hold down the fort. I've always been a shot blocker, but there's there's a lot more to defense than blocking shots. So yeah.
With you guys obviously had to get a stop to get through this one. I mean, just what did you like about just how you guys forced them to take a shot they didn't want to take at the end there?
Well, I think overall, when you play any team's second unit or third unit, they're gonna come out there with a whole bunch of energy, gassed up, trying to prove themselves, and we allowed them to get their confidence early, so it ended up being something tough for us. But I think that we dug down, we stuck to our principles, and we were able to dig it out just by playing our way of basketball.